What up, everybody, and welcome to Baz on Blades. My name is Baz, and I talk about blades, and today we are talking about a blade. We're going to do an update on what I have called the world's rarest knife, and you know what it is? Back on the tabletop here at Baz on Blades is the Ozark Trail 7.5-inch folding knife in D2 with their slide lock on it. This is their Benchmade bug out killer, is what everybody's saying, even though I think the Benchmade bug out does a good enough job of killing itself at $200 for $20 worth of materials. But that aside, we are going to talk a little bit about this knife. We're going to do an update. This is going to be a short video because my back is absolutely killing me. It kills me to sit down for more than 5 or 10 minutes. And yeah, pain is painful, come to find out. So we got the new Gen 2 of this knife here. We're going to unbox this thing or unpackage it, and we're going to see the improvements, see if there's any differences in it at all. There's really not any differences as far as the packaging goes or descriptions on it. It's the same knife. It's still $9.97 at your local Wally World. We're going to cut this thing open right here, right now. We'll pull it off of the tabletop here so I don't get smuts on my background, because I hate smutsy backgrounds in videos. It's a distraction from what we should be looking at, and that is this beautiful world's rarest knife. It's the same damn thing. I mean, I see a little bit of a difference in the orange color, and that could just be from the batch of plastic that is used. I guarantee this is all regrind plastic, and they're doing these batches and doing production runs, and there could be some differences in coloring, but the plastic itself should be the same. It feels absolutely the same. The moldings feel absolutely the same as far as surface texture, that type of thing. There is a huge difference right here in this knife, and this is the improvement on the world's rarest knife. We now have ambidextrous pocket clip placement. You can see right here, we've still got that deep carry pocket clip. It's the same. It's the same. This one's worn a little shinier because it's seen pocket time. Although the coating is not really wearing off of it, the coating is done pretty well on these. And I got to admit, guys, I'm not that guy that's doing videos saying that I've torture tested this. I've carried this. And the second example that I got, I've carried them both extensively and used them in EDC tasks. But obviously I've not used them enough to even scuff that finish, as I've got fucking 200 or 300 knives, guys. When you have a channel like this and you've got 200 or 300 knives, you don't carry knives very long. It's a constant rotation day to day. And lately, I've been carrying an upcoming feature knife, an American-made side-opening automatic that I am so in love with. So knives like this have been relegated to the tabletop and just sort of incidental cutting tasks around the house. But I never had any issues out of my other examples. Let's see here. The Omega Springs, I can't tell. I can't gauge the pressure of the Omega Spring. And this new example, it may feel a little stiffer. The springs may be a little stiffer, and if they are, that's an improvement, because the downside of axis lock type knives, okay, regardless of what the manufacturer calls that lock, it's an axis lock, basically. The weakness on these locks is if they have too low of spring pressure, it doesn't push that cross bolt up into the cut on the tang hard enough and you get some radial play. Now, a lot of times these locks require a little bit of wear in, especially if you have coated parts. You'll notice that crossbar is coated. That coating is going to impact the way it locks up, believe it or not. That is a surface coating, a surface applied coating, and is not like a DLC, which microscopically bonds with the steel itself. This is just on the surface. It's probably like a Teflon-y type of titanium nitride type of coating, I'm sure. Although I have used the other examples and it's not wearing off like crazy or anything. But usually the downfall of these knives is they don't have enough spring pressure. Yeah, see, this is still, the first time I moved it had a little tick, but as soon as it moved that tick, it locked up solid. So let's see the repeatability on that. Yeah, this is a little bit better than my previous two examples, which have came out of the box with just the slightest bit of play, radial play, and they still have that. Granted, I've not carried them or used them enough to really wear those locks in. They may not. I don't know. It's a $10 knife. It is locked up solid. They all lock up solid. They just had that typical little tick of axis lock play, and that is the main reason that the axis lock, cross bolt locks like this are my least favorite lock. In fact, I will actively avoid knives that have these locks, including Benchmade knives. The only axis top lock that I've had recently that was perfect out of the box was on a Hogue Ritter that I bought, and that was a super duper solid knife. In fact, I sold that knife for more than I paid for it. Yeah, so good for Baz on blades. So these knives right here at $9.97, you're getting some D2 for your blade. The packaging does say, well, I cut off the part of the packaging that says, let's see here, my God, I cut it in half. See, it doesn't say anything technical about anything. It just tells you that it's D2. I imagine that it's going to be Rockwelled in that sort of typical cheap D2 range, which would be, 59, 60-ish, an HRC Rockwell scale. But, I had good performance out of mine, and I can tell you what, whoever sharpens these knives in the factory does a fantastic job. I grabbed one of my original examples yesterday to cut down some cardboard, and it just zipped through cardboard. I stopped right then, and I was like, man, these sure did come sharp. They do a good job on the secondary bevel of this $9.97 knife in D2. Crossbar type lock. It's on bearings. Okay, so it is. Oh, I hear some junk down in those bearings. They're a little noisy right now. I bet they're dirty as they can be. Let's see about play. Oh, yeah. They've set that up. Same as the original examples. It does have side-to-side play. And let's get some tools here. I believe that pivot is a T8. Let's see if that's a T8, and we will tighten this pivot down and see what kind of action this thing has got. Okay, this pivot has Loctite on it. Let me see. And it's the same sort of soft feeling, Loctite feeling that was on the other two that I got. All right. Now let's find that balance between freeness and play. Okay. Okay, so I've not found the perfect balance there. It's got a little drag on closing it. But it has absolutely no side play. And the radial play, it seats very well, and it's good to go. It's good to go. Let's take a look here and get all this smuts off of my background so the smuts patrol doesn't come around and ticket me. At $9.97, you know what? I would say grab these. Get them while you can. Who knows what's going to happen with availability or price. They are so hit and miss at my local store that I have to have an inside line set up with the people that work in that department. They let me know when they come in, and they did, and I grabbed some. They did say that we are getting a few more in than we were before, so maybe production is catching up with that initial demand on these cheap knives. I don't think that Walmart thought that this knife would be such a hit, that it would hit so big on the internet, and they were initially shocked that they couldn't keep up in production. I believe that'll probably change, and they'll ramp up production. These will become more available. Let's take a look at that centering there. You know what? This, for $9.97, got standoffs. They're not plain old standoffs, so there's some action going on there. I don't like the pocket clip design. It's a deep carry pocket clip. Everything's fine. It's not absolutely 100% deep carry, but it is a deep carry type of clip. You can see the screw heads are domed. They are not flat or recessed, so you'll have that. But the thing I don't really like about pocket clips like this is that they tip up on this end, and there's no flat section. So that tip up is always going to be pointing into your hand, and pointing is now a word. Everybody be using the word pointing. Spell it how you will. It is poking up into my hand, and I'm gripping it pretty hard. You can see across my knuckles here. I'm gripping hard right now. Let's see what we've got here. It's pushing up into this area of my hand, and it's not too bad. As far as comfort level goes, it's leaving a mark, but it's not too bad. It's a good shape for a handle. These knives were popular for a reason. They gave quite a bit, not only in materials and workmanship, but also in design, taking cues, of course, from the Benchmade bug out that has been so incredibly popular, even though it is one of the most overpriced knives ever made. It has been incredibly popular because it's a good design, and this is just sort of aping that design, even though the handle's not the same, the blade's not the same, but it is in the same general family design language, and it does have a lot of good things going for it. Radial sort of handle here. It's not flat scales. You can see their radius. As far as the fit and finish, everything is really, for $9.97, I don't want to make this out like it's the world's greatest anything, because it feels like an inexpensive knife. It does. But it's a lot of knife for $10. As far as a $10 knife goes, these are absolutely the best $10 knife I've ever held in my hands or used. Straight out of the package. If you want a beater, throwaway knife that will actually work, okay, is usable, is ergonomically, it's comfortable and usable as a tool. You want one to throw in the tackle box, in the glove box, in the tool box, anything like that. You got a bug out bag you keep in your car or whatever, a get home bag, and you don't want to put expensive stuff in it. You put an inexpensive fixed blade and one of these in it, you will be perfectly served in getting back home with that kit. And if it gets stolen, it's a $10 knife. If you drop it and lose it, it's a $10 knife. If it breaks, it's just a $10 knife. I mean, you can't go to McDonald's and eat half a damn Happy Meal and shit that thing out later for less than $10. But this is a tool, a workable tool for $10. And that's the only reason I have featured these here at Baz Arm Blades. I got to tell you, man, this is pretty solid, and it is still loosey-goosey as far as the action goes. Yeah, that's not bad at all. That's not bad at all. It is very dry. I can feel the bearings rolling. Okay, it's a very dry. There's no hydraulic feel to it at all. $10. I don't know how you could beat it. I don't know how you could beat this knife. So there you go. That's the Gen 2 of the Ozark Trail 7.5-inch folding knife in D2. The Benchmade Bug Out Killer has been improved with ambidextrous carry via the pocket clip. You've already got a crossbar type lock, which is already ambidextrous. It's on bearings, not the smoothest I've ever felt, but it's on bearings. The blade grinds are good. You can tell the primary grinds are even. Look how even the secondary bevel is, the edge bevel. Look at how even that is side to side. That does not even look like it was hand edged. It looks like it was CNC sharpened to me. That's how exact it is. For $10, get out of here. That's a deal as far as I'm concerned. Buy 5 or 6 of these and stow them around, put them back. Kids' first folder. This will be a great knife for a young person for their first folder when they're at that age where they're probably going to lose it. It would be a great knife for that because it is serviceable, but cheap. There you go. $9.97. The world's rarest knife in Gen 2 form, vastly improved, and now quite possibly, no argument, the best $10 knife on planet Earth. You heard it here first at Baz Arm Blades. That is official. This is the world's best $10 knife. Now, get them while you can. As always, thank you very much for taking the time to watch one of my videos. God bless all of you, and we will talk to you again.